Time to go through the papers now. Let's see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And I have with me journalists to help make sense of the headlines we have here. We have a broadcast journalist, Ife Onyegbile, in the studio. Ife, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Good to
Great.
see you again.
And we also have Dario Dufo here with us, a journalist in the studio. Dario, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome. Let's begin with the Leadership newspaper. Leadership newspaper says, mixed reactions trail DSS security alert. Mixed reaction trail DSS security alert. Now, unscrupulous elements trying to pitch Nigerians against each other with ethnic, religious violence. Secret police alleges. That is the alert, and a lot of reactions to it. I guess certainly we'll be talking about this partly as we get along. Daily Times is next. Daily Times says Federal Executive Council approves 20 private universities, 36.3 billion naira for power aviation projects. 20 private universities approved by the Federal Executive Council. Okay, that's Daily Times. Business Day. Firms adopt 1998 strategy to crack world's poverty capital. Firms adopt 1998 strategy to crack world's poverty capital. That's on Business Day. National economy is next now. National economy says Nigeria's modular refineries capacity nears 21,000 barrels per day. Nigeria's modular refineries capacity nears 21,000 barrels per day. Okay, as new ones are coming upstream here and there. Okay, let's move on now to News Direct. Nigeria News Direct says on the $218 million alleged fraud, court gives EFCC approval to arrest Mobile Nigeria MD. All right, Mobile Nigeria MD, court gives EFCC approval to arrest him. All right, that's News Direct. Daily Trust is next, and it's talking about World Cancer Day today. He says only 3 public radiotherapy centers in Nigeria. Only 3 public radiotherapy centers in Nigeria. And patients decry high treatment cost. Federal government yet to redeem care center pledge. And experts want treatment captured in the National Health Insurance Scheme. Okay, that's a Daily Trust. The Guardian is next. And it's also focusing on the World Cancer Day today. COVID-19 raising cancer deaths, say WHO and specialists. WHO decries rising cancer cases in Africa from 380,000 in 2002 to 846,000 in 2020. That is really scary. Patients with cancer face reduced access to care, competition for scarce resources. All of that on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. All right, let's go to Vanguard newspaper now. Vanguard newspaper says on eviction, Afenifere Middle Belt Forum, Pandef Amechi tackle the Northern Elders Forum. Northern Elders call sectional divisive unfortunate. Middle Belt Forum is saying this, and nobody will lose sleep if they decide to return. Afenifere is saying this. So it's a back and forth on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The Sun newspaper is next, and it says it's focusing on herdsmen and community clashes. It says tension, anxiety in Oyo, Ogun, Edo, and Abia. Women protest in Edo say they can't go to farms again. No ethnic group should dominate others. But Jabiamila, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, is saying this. And that's on the front page of the Daily Sun. Draws our attention to security issues in there. Now, the Punch newspaper is next. Punch says Afenifere, Pandef tackled Northern Elders Forum over alleged Northerners' killings. And they have their comments here and there. Okay, that's on the front page of the Punch newspaper, still drawing attention to security issues in there. Now, the Nation newspaper is next. CAN, that's the Christian Association of Nigeria, Islamic Council to DSS, go after killers and others. Because recall that the secret police raised the alarm on plans to cause ethnic and religious violence. So CAN and Islamic Council are telling the DSS, go after the killers. That should be your focus. Okay, if you know what the cause is and you know who is raising that alarm, go after them. That's the Nation newspaper. This Day is the last one we're looking at now. This Day newspaper. Lamido slams APC as Buni denies plot to field Jonathan in 2023. Former governor says ruling party has divided Nigeria. An interim chairman explains no presidential aspiration being considered for now. Condé dismisses membership revalidation registration as wasteful exercise. All that on the front page of This Day newspaper. That's politics in there. All right. Gentlemen of the press, security issues are still on the front burner. And recall that the stories have gone round how Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi, went into the forest to try to see how he can, bring some calm and peace by having a talk and dialogue with perceived aggrieved or disgruntled, people here and there. Now, the DSS also raised alarm that some people are trying to brew trouble by creating religious and ethnic tension, and reactions are on. Dari, let me start with you here. Every day we come, we talk about issues of security or insecurity, as the case may be, or the security or the lack of it. And with all of the killings and displacements that here and there that we hear, one wonders if government is doing enough to handle that, because this is on the front burner of government. Talk to us.
Yeah, well,
let's start from there.
You see, government's efforts as regards security would just never be enough. Maybe we need to just understand that fact. No matter what they do, it won't be enough, because criminals all over the world are always a little ahead of those trying to apprehend them. So criminals and their backers will keep devising...
On the ground where the government is not proactive.
Yes, especially where we respond to issues slower than necessary. Be that as it may, I am very happy to hear or read the DSS saying, we found this, we found that. But that has been on for a while. But 2 weeks ago, the same alert. People are trying to whip up ethnic sentiment. People are trying to pitch Nigerians against one another. 2 weeks later, it is unfolding. Yet, the DSS is yet to parade people arrested as being behind that move, or if it is not their style to parade. Tell us that we made moves and we are on top of the situation. What we are still being told is that security alert, people are planning. For how long will they plan? And for how long will you, as an agency of government, statutorily put in place to prevent such occurrence? For how long will you keep telling us people are planning? I think at that junction, like I said earlier, the effort of government is not enough. The DSS should, as a matter of urgency, reel out what they have found out. These are the people behind these moves. These are their intentions. And these are their modus operandi. And this is what we have also been able to do to nip this crisis in the bud. It is when we do that, not only will it prevent the occurrence of these things, it will also warn perpetrators that government is on its toes and you are not likely to sit down in any corner of the country, plan these things, and get away with it.
Okay. Now, if you let me bring you in here, if we flip the coin from what he said, now we have always known, in fact, the nickname for DSS is secret police, where we don't get to, you don't walk up
have a brother who's there, you will know.
You will know who they are.
Yeah.
You know, that is the style, so that so the issue of the secret police communicating to Nigerians and letting them know this is about to happen, or this can likely happen, and all of that. One would say, a lot of people would say that whether that is even going to create tension instead, because if you're a secret police and your strategy is secret, and you find out some things, handle it in secret. What do you make of that?
I think so too, because that's what their job is. It's not for you to come on social media or come out in the open to say, this is what I'm doing, these are the people. You're going to give those people, as Dari has said, they're always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. When you begin to make such pronouncements, to say, these are the people, or these are Igbo headsmen, or these are Yoruba headsmen, or these are Hausa kidnappers, you know, these days we find we're used to ascribing, you know, tribes to the things that are happening.
Stereotyping.
Yes, we're stereotyping.
Although the DSS didn't do that,
Yeah,
though.
no, I'm just saying that.
Okay.
For them to come out now to begin to say, this is what we're doing, this is what, I don't think it's a good idea. As you've said, they need to do their jobs in secret. There's somebody you report to, and there's somebody who gives a brief to the president. Now, it's the prerogative of the president to decide to say, now that I have this information, this is what we need to do. I also need to speak out to say, the spokespersons of the president need to also stop stoking the fire with the things that they say. Oh, this is happening. They are the ones to first come out and get to talk about it. You're going to incite violence. As it is now, the thread that is holding the nation together has become so thin that it can snap at any time. So I'm just urging the DSS, or the SSS as we call them, they're the secret police, do your job, report to your bosses. There's a superior who reports to the president. And I'm sure the president knows better. This is not the first time he'll find himself. He's a general as it is. He knows better how to handle the situation.
Okay. Now, Dari, the issue of the capacity of security agencies to handle all of the challenges is certainly not in doubt when it comes to the professionalism and the skill of the Nigerian security agent. But how that translates into the field, preventing things from happening, is what Nigerians get to see, and that's what they feel. Because if you're talking about people who are displaced, you're talking about people who are killed, you're talking about those who are raped or who are kidnapped and robbed and attacked and assaulted, all of those, the numbers keep rising by the day when you talk about these from different countries with the reports we get. So how do we reconcile this?
I don't see the need for a reconciliation.
We can't reconcile it.
I don't see the need for one, because what we are even placing side by side are mere fallacies. How? We have this penchant to say there is no doubt that the Nigerian security is up and doing professionally, this, that. But we don't see this reflecting on everyday life. If Nigerian security is so good, well trained, equipped, professional, we are not going to have a Sunday Igboho. We won't have a Sunday Igboho on our hand. Probably we will not have an Nnamdi Kanu. And most possibly, we won't have Shekau in the north. Because where you have the security being up and doing as we tend to want to paint our own, I don't know whether it's patriotism or mere throwing words around. When the crisis was starting in the northeast, a serious security outfit would have seen it. Take proactive action, either in secret or in the open, and nip it in the bud. That didn't happen. Then it became an insurgency. And a very serious security, a well-equipped, armed and all that army should have ended that war before it became this guerrilla warfare we're now facing. They were in the cities, Maiduguri Metropole. They could have been rounded up and something serious done if truly our security is up and doing. But that didn't happen. Then let's go to the east. The Nnamdi Kanu IPOB matter started on the streets of Aba, Enugu and the likes. On the streets. The coordinators were known persons for years. Known traders, known this, known that. And we failed to nip that too in the bud. And while that was still going on, now, killings in the southwest, rapings and all that. The security did nothing about it until a self-acclaimed savior of the people of the Southwest emerged. Either he's doing it rightly or wrongly, it's left to debate.
All right.
For all I care, somebody is saying no to these killings.
All right.
And now everybody's concerned because he spoke out.
Yeah, and that is the concern of Nigerians. Let all of these things end. All of this harassment and killing and displacement
All
and
over the
kidnapping,
country.
let it end
Everywhere
so
in the
everybody
country.
can go
Then
about their normal
it
business.
is the security apparatus that we should look up to.
All right,
And they should move on to-
I'm glad they are listening and following up with all of. In fact, the alarm they raised is the product of them working to know. Oh, there are some people doing this. So we hope they will handle that. Now, I want us to go to the story on Daily Times. It says Federal Executive Council approves 20 private universities. If I'm going to start with you on this one.
When I saw
The
that report.
issue there is, when it comes to the number of universities in Nigeria, one would say, of course, they are not even enough. We still need more so that people. But the quality of it is what Nigerians or what experts look at. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, of course. When I saw that report yesterday, and I hear it's brought the number to 99 now as we speak, I was asking myself a question. The ones that are already existing, how many are truly in order, if we put that in quote now? I had the opportunity of talking to a man who works as the VC of a private university. I wouldn't mention the name. And he says to me, I asked him, how many students do you have? And he says to me, we don't even have up to 300 students.
Wow.
Now the staff, they're not even well paid as it is. So that is a private university. And that's probably the story in some of the private universities. Why are you setting up another set, for crying out loud? So what's going to happen to the, how do I put it now, the government university or the state and federal universities that we have? Does it mean that you also want to kill those just the way that you killed public schools in Nigeria? I'm sure you're aware that many people can break the bank so that their children can get a place in a private school,
of course,
where the child will never fail, whether that child is bright or not. As long as you pay that exorbitant fees, your child must move on to the next class. Even with the COVID-19 pandemic, many have said, look, don't make our children repeat. Push all of them to the next class. And you wouldn't if I pay 500,000, a million naira for my child in school. Now, this is what happens. There are good private universities. Of course, we know some of them. Where they go, they have the normal duration, they have their routines, they have their sessions, and they go at the normal time and come out. But how many of these that you have set up now? Is this the problem that we have now? This is not what we
20
should
private
be looking at.
universities, and the number is swelling. Now, recall that in Rwanda, we've been talking about this the last, I think about the report came out 3 years ago, where private schools were closing down because government was investing massively in public schools. They were cheaper, the quality was higher, they were more accessible, they were available,
And they had good
all of that.
teachers.
So private schools were closing down.
But in
But
Nigeria,
here it is the other way around.
private schools are opening up. You see, I have decided not to be worried about some things in this country based on antecedents. Recall, I think we just have this penchant to overdo everything. I remember when private licenses were issued to private broadcast organizations in this country. We saw various types of television stations opening up, some in small shops, others inside the containers. But after a while, they fizzled out. Then the serious ones are here to stay. Don't also forget about banking in this country. When bank licenses were being dashed out, we've had so many banks in this country that you could no longer ask a secondary school student to list the names of banks in the country. I remember while we were in secondary, we could list in commerce as a subject.
Exactly.
Listing names of banks in Nigeria was usually an examination question. But that couldn't be done again. Then what happened? Mergers, acquisitions, and the likes. And then you can count the number of banks once again, suddenly. So I see a face. The universities are I have been opportune to visit some so-called private universities. And what do you see? Vast landmass, 3-4 buildings, and that's the university. Big
They're still building.
nameplate
They're still
at the
building.
gate. 5-6 years after, they're still building.
They're
50
still building.
students
They're
in all.
investing. They're
Some
investing.
have less than 50 students, and they go by the name of a university. You see, I think we should, like you said it, we should be concerned about quality, not quantity. Then government, when you begin to do things based on policies that you claim is meant to deepen education, is meant to improve education, you should be less concerned about satisfying cronies and allies. You should think less of business interests. When you give licenses because some people have gotten the money and they are looking for where to invest, not because they have gotten the vision and they are looking for where to plant this vision, to touch lives, then we'll be in this kind of situation. 20 universities at the time the NUC barely some months ago came out and said, we made the register some schools. You told us some schools are not doing well. I think about 35 were on that list. And we have not heard anything about they being revoked or deregistered. We're adding 20.
Right.
So, but I see a phase. And soon, it could be mergers, it could be acquisitions.
In addition to the list of issues you're talking about, we also remember political parties.
Oh,
where we had
How
proliferation.
and all of
But
that.
I just think
So
we
it's
should
a Nigerian
borrow
thing.
Yes.
a leaf from the Rwanda experience.
But he said it's a phase.
It's a phase.
So should we see that maybe as time goes on,
No, we need to
water will
stop.
find
We
its
need to
level?
stop playing games
Okay.
with education. As it is now, I'm just expecting. I just pray that the president declares a state of emergency on the education sector. So much is going on. Children or students have been home for over a year. Talking about those in high institution. Look at the young ones in tertiary, primary and secondary schools. Some are just going back. Some parents are saying we're not sending our children back home. You just mentioned the Rwanda experience. Everything is just working out fine for that country. Yes, they were on the brink. They found their ways back and they said to themselves, look, for everything, you're first a Rwandan before anything. So they've been able to do that. So let's do that. Because for me, I'm a product of a Jakonde school, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah.
And I thank Baba Jakonde for that.
We attended the Abule schools. Abule schools, that's what they were called.
I went to a Jakonde school,
good.
and it made a lot of sense at that time. But these days, when I go back to that school, primary school where I went, I feel so bad. I've tried my best, tried to go back there and do stuff for them. But I'm saying that government should take a look at what it is. Not everyone can afford a private. Do you know how much children pay for private schools?
Yeah, you can say that
I think
again.
we need to do the
You
right
can
thing
say
for
that again.
education.
But you know
as a
that
roundup.
in Lagos here, sincerely, we should give kudos to the government, not just the current one. Most of those Jakonde schools you talk about today, when you get there, the kind of buildings you find there,
Terrible.
no, some are good.
Some have been renovated by the old students.
They've been
by the
they've
government,
been upgraded.
sincerely, upgraded. But what we should talk about is the quality. It is not just about the buildings.
Will you go back to teach?
I attended Abulia
Will you
primary
go back
school.
to teach? Will you go back there to teach?
Oh, you are aware that I was also a teacher,
that's
and I will always be
interesting.
one. But
Interesting.
what I'm talking about is let's put some quality.
Oh, yeah.
Go to these schools, you see buildings,
Yeah.
but the stuff the teachers are made of,
Yeah.
the stuff they are giving out to the children. We need to take good look.
Yeah.
It is when we do that
I
we can now
I think
bench
it's a
the
good
private
thing
schools.
when it comes to the policy of how to ensure quality, right from Subeb, and
Straight-
all of that.
exactly.
Lagos is getting it right. One
Very
way or
right.
the
Look
other.
at what
I think-
Subeb is doing.
that
Classes in
conscious-
your home is an everyday thing
Make
now.
teaching lucrative
Yeah.
so that people can find their ways
Fantastic.
there.
If you go
Just
to-
make
if you
it-
go
just
to
make
some-
it
That's a
If
good
you
one.
go to
I will borrow that.
I will not-
Germany is working on that.
Make it lucrative.
Germany is doing
so that I can
Yes.
leave broadcasting and go to
I'll
teach.
go to teach.
Welcome.
And you pay me well.
It won't be a bad idea.
we
But if
have
you go to
plenty
some,
here.
if you go to some schools now, the kind of cars you see parked there, you begin to have
All
an
right.
idea.
Let's leave it here now. Thank you very much, Dario Dufo. Welcome for coming on the program. Thank you so much. And if you're Nyegbule, thank you very much
Thank
for coming.
you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
All right.